All right, guys, let's close out with the one of my favorite places, CoreLogic. This is the U.S. Home Price Insights published in March of 2024, but I need to qualify. This is the information and data up through January of 2024.
Yeah.
So the month of January finishes, February they do their work, March they release their report. So we are looking at the year-over-year information from January of 2023 to January of 2024, and then forecasting January 2024 into January of 2025. So what we see here is that the current year-over-year change is 5.8% in home price appreciation, not depreciation. Yeah. And the forecast for next year is 2.6. Still positive. Not a flat line, not a negative. It's still a positive number. And this is coming from CoreLogic. Probably them and Altos Research are the most reputable data companies when it comes to this type of conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what? Right. Now what? What do we do? What do we do? You're like, all right, that's it. In the show. Talk to you later.
Yeah, great numbers.
No, okay. Let me talk. I'll talk a little bit about this because nationally, you see again, this is that law of averages. 5.8% means one thing one place,
Correct.
and it means something somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Because a couple articles ago, we could talk about a place that has a 13% appreciation, someone that's got 2 or 0 or -3 in some areas. That's true. The negative numbers and the positive numbers are making this middle number 5.8 still being positive, which means still being pulled in that positive territory. The states with the highest increases year over year were Rhode Island at 13.2%, New Jersey 11.6%, and Connecticut 11%.
Dang.
And what's crazy about all three of those is that they are higher than 10%.
Yes.
And none of them were Florida or Texas, where people are migrating in droves.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to me.
Well, we got to see how many people are actually moving into these cities because usually that's what happens. The tendency is when people are moving, flocking into that type of city right there, that's where you have the tendency of appreciation being at that 10, 11%, which is, I mean, it's phenomenal. It's like putting your money into stock, right? And knowing that they're gonna make that much on it, which is awesome.
We had some people comment like, "Did he just call a house an investment last week?" And we're like, "Yeah, a house is an investment. Like last time I checked, you can't sleep inside your 401k.
Yeah,
you can't." Yeah,
thank you.
It's okay.
I didn't see that. I need to get in there.
Yeah,
I'm coming.
Some people.
The comments are wild. I love it.
I love it too. It's all fun and games. So I get in there.
It's entertaining. It's entertaining to me. Yeah, you can't live inside your life policy.
Like here's the thing, right? Like this coach brought out this great thing about it. He's most millionaires have 80% own real estate, and so when you look at the bigger picture, and I'm sorry, it was like 90%. No, it was more 90%. So when you're looking at this whole graph here, you're talking about if you look from here this way, that's your 90% of people who are multimillionaires through real estate and have real estate. That other 10% is from this way.
Yeah.
Stocks.
Stocks, baseball players, athletes, etc.
Yeah, I mean, there's business owners that make a lot of their wealth that way. But again, a lot of times business and real estate go hand in hand. I mean, look, we have our office. We own.
Yeah.
We don't rent this place here. So again, that's business and real estate hand in hand together. And our business
that's an investment.
Is real estate.
And that's an investment. That's an investment. There's some people that don't say it's an investment. Listen,
that's fine.
I say 100%.
That's fine.
One of the things that, a lot of people think like, oh, I invest in real estate. Yeah, I'm a landlord. But, like we heard the other day, it was like you can buy real estate and have other people do business through it. Yeah. Like Ray Kroc. He wasn't in the burger business. He was in the real estate business.
Oh, yeah.
McDonald's just did business on his real estate. So real estate is not just, hey, I'm going to buy a house, rent it out, buy a house, flip it, buy a house, wholesale it. There's so many different avenues that come with the real estate investment world that you can diversify yourself in so many different ways.
I'm glad you brought that point out.
There's so many different ways. And I hope that somebody listens to that and says like, oh, they're not just pushing me to buy a house. Go invest. If anything, I am pushing you to invest, not to buy, to invest.
And here's a question.
I digress.
Here's a question I have. And yes, real estate, it can be used as an investment. It can be perceived as an investment. It can be passed on in a legacy as an investment. Yep. And here's my question. Yep. If it's not an investment and you sold it at a loss, what would you call it? fair question, comment box.
Yeah.
If you think it's not an investment and you sold it at a loss, would you have taken a loss on your investment or on what? What would you be taking a loss on?
The purchase of your house?
On my home.
Right? Okay. So you're either going to make a gain, which,
here-
by the way, is taxed unless you're going to get an exemption for capital gains. But if you take it as a loss, it's still a loss on your investment.
Here's the inverse, though. If they sell it and then they won't make a whole bunch of money, they're going to go
What
and
would
say,
you call it?
That was a great investment.
It's a great investment. Yeah. Exactly. It's okay.
Troll.
Let's move to the home price index top 10 metros change, because I thought this was interesting. Now, back when I first started doing Monday Mortgage Minute in 2019, and I was looking at this through 2019, 20, and 21,
wasn't even on the map.
Phoenix was number one. Phoenix was number one. San Diego would be number 2. Number 3, Los Angeles is getting mixed in there. Or you get Miami mixed in there. Sometimes San Diego would be, flipping positions, but Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's Miami. It's Miami right now. Miami
That's
at 10.2%. Then San Diego at 8.5%. Still in second position.
Wow.
Now, all this time later, still in second position. And then you got Chicago at number 3 at 7.3%.
Yeah.
This is of the top 10 metros change. They're all in positive territory. The smallest positive territory is Houston at 2.1%. And that might just be an anomaly based on the year-over-year kind of like snapshot window of this. You got Denver in there, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Boston rounding out the top 10.
Yeah.
And the smallest of them being 2.1% still.
Wow.
Positive still.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
Chicago,
Miami-
7.3, and it's still affordable there.
Well, right. Well, and here's the thing. You look at, you keep counting down, the numbers, and I was telling you guys just a second ago that Phoenix was normally the top spot. It's actually number 7.
Yeah.
Because Las Vegas is number 6. Phoenix would be number 7 on this list.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's obviously slowed down there. It's still in positive territory, but I guess I'm not too surprised that Miami's jumped to number 1, and I'm not surprised at all. San Diego, our backyard, our own stomping grounds, it is proving month over month, year over year to hold its position as far as appreciation is concerned.
Yep.
I mean,
and I like San Diego. I mean, the best thing you always use is just we're an insulated city, right? We're insulated. There's not as much more room that we can go in there and develop.
Yeah, you look Mexico to the south. You got the Pacific Ocean to the west. You have the military installations to the north, and you have to the East County, a lot of preserve, desert, and
so we're kind of like boxed
national
in.
Parks and things like that. We are a little boxed in on a number of sides.
We're going to have to make some compromises here soon.
Last thing on this article, guys, there are some markets that I guess they're putting kind of on the watch list. I guess I'm a little bit surprised that some of them, the Florida ones, are on there, because I know so many people moved to Florida in the last couple of years. Two of the top 5 areas to watch are in Florida, and 2 of the top 5 are in Utah.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about Utah, admittedly, but the Florida ones, I thought the Florida ones were interesting because with so many people migrating over to Florida, I actually didn't think that they would be on a risk of a home price decline list at all in the top 5 or even the top 10.
Yeah.
So that kind of stood out to me.
Well, again, like it's just like little,
Pockets.
little pockets of the city, and so I can see that happening, and I was hearing certain things that are just homes are staying on the market a little longer in those areas.
I think for people for San Diego, if you're looking at this, if you can catch anything from it, is that it hasn't slowed down in the last couple of years, and even in certain pockets in the city, they might drop for a little bit, but over time we've seen that everything is still constantly either keeping its price, holding its weight, and who knows how long that's going to last for. But that is saying it's 2.6% again next year. But San Diego could be a little bit more wild.
Yeah, and here it is. Yeah, people are buying San Diego. If you look at our social media, there's more investors coming up. I know we're not we're a tenant-friendly state. So all these things, even though investors say it's not a tenant-friendly state, we're not going to want to buy right there, they still are buying. And we have one of the biggest competitors, which is BlackRock, a hedge fund investor that continues to purchase here in our own backyard.
I honestly just feel like if you're able to get a piece of land here in San Diego or anywhere in California that's suited, you're going to have a good investment that down the line is going to be a cash cow that you can always go back to. Even if you don't live here, like if you can invest here, you'll be doing good.
What do they say? It's not timing of the market.
It's time in the market. So here's a time of the market thing for you guys. I just did some quick math as you're chatting here. We started off this segment talking about how the home price index is up 5.8% year over year, and it's projected at 2.6. So let's take this just real quick.
I like it. I know
currently,
where you're going.
San Diego is at 8.5%, and the national average is 5.8%. That's a difference of 2.7%.
Yeah.
If I stack that 2.7%, assuming all things equal into next year, national forecast 2.6 plus San Diego's 2.7 variance uptick, that puts us at 5.3% potential appreciation for 2025.
Wow.
So we'd still be above 5% appreciation.
Can you do 2026?
All things
and 27?
No, they didn't. They didn't go out that far. I'm just using the graphs in front of me,
Andy's head's
guys.
like AI. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just it knows how to freaking
Whatever. Whatever. That's not the case. But
I think that Andy was just like,
okay.
yes.
well, it's San Diego's
I don't dare to argue.
already hovering above the national average.
Yeah.
So that same hover amount was still going to put us, again, all things considered equal into the new year. Then we're still going to have greater than 5% home price index locally for San Diego going into 2025 too.
Yeah.
So.